lessons learned, or passionate ideas. Every opinion here is strictly that of the person who gives it. Let us consciously and lovingly agree to disagree if it does not resonate with us today. I don't know what the topic is, but our speaker is Mary Barker, and she's been coming here for as long as I have, longer than I have, as long as I can remember. And she just has a huge heart. I know she's going to have something good for us here today. So, Reverend Mary Barker, not Reverend, right? Yeah. Reverend Mary Barker, come on up.
Gotta make sure I have everything. I listened to you read the where you say we invite everyone to address our assembly with words of inspiration, lessons learned, and passionate ideas. And I thought I might cover all of those today. And you need me to stay here, right? Or reasonably close?
You can do whatever you want.
Do I need to take this off?
No, you just carry the whole microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. Good morning.
Good morning.
My topic for today is Unwrap Your Gift. And unlike previous times, I haven't mapped it all out. I'm trusting that Spirit will provide me what I need when I need it. They've already done that so far this morning. I needed a few tears. I needed some cards that I pulled in the car. And we'll see where this goes. One of the things that has happened to me this past year is I've been part of something called an immersion, where you're with a group of people and you go through a journey together. And as part of that journey for me, I had the opportunity to witness and be witnessed in a safe container. It happened to be all women, this particular immersion, where it was come as you are. Like, we want you in your fullness, and that might be where you look nice and pretty on Christmas Eve morning, and it might be that you haven't had a shower in a couple of days and haven't washed your hair, and fortunately it's all on Zoom, so they can't, and just be who you are. And it's amazing what can happen when you're in that space. To be truly seen and loved and accepted is amazing, and I highly recommend it for everybody. Okay. And as part of that whole process, there is a piece that's brought in that relates to the I Ching. And that's where, as the sun moves around, as the earth moves around the sun, the sun does not move around the earth. As the earth moves around the sun hits various points. And every 5 to 6 days, it's a new point on that 64 things of the I Ching. And today is the last day of the 10. And the 10 is about the natural, which is why, as much as I didn't maybe necessarily want to, if part of being natural is having emotion and expressing it as I'm having it, meaning I need to stand there and talk to my friends and cry, or sit in my chair and cry. And that's perfectly okay, because that's where I am. So I want to read, there's some cards that I got this year. And I want to read what's on the back of the 10. It says, being at ease, living authentically, honoring unique contribution of being yourself. The magical elf. Being a tease, she's living at ease. Finding her pace, she is altering space. Playing her role, she's awakening the whole. The magical elf, she is accepting herself. Riding waves of possibilities, she moves between parallel realities. She's never attached to her current status or ambitions, letting go of the need for approval or other formalities. She juggles challenges and enjoys her radiant missions. So, also as part of these I Ching, everyone has access to all 64, but there are certain specific ones that you have as part of your incarnation in this particular life. I don't happen to have the 10, but I have it because that's where the sun is hitting. So, and what I wanted to talk about in terms of unwrapping the gift is that in this, although it's unfortunately the last day, is in this time of being natural, being yourself, go in and look at all of the magic and wonder that you bring to your life. And have you unwrapped that gift? Or like I did for a very long time, kept it hidden, kept it wrapped up, can't let anybody see. I think for me, part of the tears is that there's still a part of me that finds it hard to stand up here. It's less hard, like my friend and I were driving over. I have a friend visiting from Iowa. We were driving over here from the west side, and she was asking me about, how I felt about today. And it's like, for the first time ever, like I'm a little, as we call it, nervous, excited, but I don't feel anxious. I don't feel, it's like I'm going to have what I need. Spirit will provide. But that's because I've been willing to be me in whatever space I'm in. And I would like to offer to you, one, if in case you need it, the permission to do that. And you don't really need my permission, but sometimes people need to feel invited. So you have my permission to be yourself in every given moment. At the same time, I'm learning because my friend that's visiting from Iowa, I've known for almost this entire year through Zoom. And that's been lovely. And at the same time, it's a little bit different when you're physically in the same proximity. And I'm learning a tremendous amount about myself. And one of the things I'm learning is that when I have a reaction either to her or something that we're doing, it's not about her. It's about me. And I've talked a couple times because we've met with different people. We went to a solstice party and we met with a friend, etc. That in the Native American tradition, they have something that they call the smoking mirror. And what that is, and I thought I would do it with you guys and then I decided not to, but you can do this if you want. Take a piece of paper and over the course of whatever time limit you set, a day, a week, whatever, you write down, oh, he's really arrogant. Oh, she's this. Oh, he's that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When you get to the end of the time that you set aside, look at all those and then put the word I in front of each one of those. Because what you saw was just a reflection of the piece in you that needs healing. And once you heal that, you're not going to see it anymore. Or at least, maybe, I don't know about never seeing it anymore, but at least when you see it, it won't be a trigger. You won't do that automatic, oh, I just got hooked again. And again, having my friend here, like I'm realizing all kinds of things that in the past I might have said to her, and it's like, is that hers or is that mine? And discovering like 100% of the time, it's mine. you know. And so there's no work out here to do. There's no unwrapping out here to do. It's all unwrapping inside. I guess the other thing I want to talk about, and I'm not a huge fan in particular of Christmas this time of year, because that has some, I don't know, I wouldn't call it trauma, but negative stuff attached to it. But Thursday, the 21st, the winter solstice, that's my favorite day of the year. And the reason that it's my favorite day of the year is because it means the light's coming back. Like we've come to the end of it getting darker and darker and darker, and now the light's coming back. And so in some ways, the summer solstice is sad because now I know the light is going to be diminishing. But it's not as bad because there's still lots of light. But Spirit was kind enough to take us to a spiritual center, a friend of my friend, and there was, she's also a card puller, and I think I tossed it. But there was something that I had read yesterday. I just kept, everything I pulled was about light and like my being a light, or recognizing and honoring that light and being willing to shine it, etc. And that, even though part of what I studied this year is astrology and how that relates to me as a human, and discovering, I mean, I knew that I was an Aries, but discovering what that really means for me, and that whether I like it or not, I might be required to be out front more than I have been comfortable with in the past. That, you know, Aries goes first. And I learned that a lot this year. There were times when, you know, we'd all be sitting there kind of looking at each other on Zoom, and they would say, okay, who wants to go first? And I'd be like, it's supposed to be me, so let's go. And in fact, one particular thing that we did, that I said, okay, I'll go first. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just agree to? And as it turns out, I had reason to be wary, but it ended up being such a transformational experience because I let myself figuratively stand in front of a group of people and, you know, come at me, you know, ask me anything. Nothing's off limits. And in a way, kind of like coming here and doing this, it's like, I'm just going to stand here and be. And I can do that. Maybe can't do it without tears, but that's okay. Maybe someday I will be able to do it without tears. And I certainly am doing it with a lot less tears than I did that day. Because each of us is sovereign. Each of us is in charge of our own life. Each of us, I don't know that I would say that you have a responsibility to unwrap your gift, but I'm learning that in order to make this thing that we call humanity work, we need everybody's peace. Because I was on the way over to pick up my friend, I'm listening to the radio, and they're talking to these people that work on the endangered species. And there's a little tiny island off the coast of Southern California that had something that was on the endangered list, and it's now no longer. And it's a plant. It's not even an animal. It's a plant. And I think she said it was about 6 inches tall. Like in the scope of things, like, really? We're going to waste resources and time and effort and whatever to save this little thing. But because we don't know what's going to happen when that little thing is no longer part of the ecosystem. So let's work on saving it, because who knows what will come if we, you know. And so take some time today and over the next few days to think about how do I unwrap my gift? How do I become at peace with me so that when people meet me, although I'm learning too, people that are awake will meet you with peace. People that are not awake you will trigger them. They may, whether they don't like you or they start poking at you because you're showing them their shadow. And we don't necessarily want to see, again, it's that if I'm seeing it out here, it's only because I have it in here. If I don't have it in here, I don't see it. I mean, it could walk by me and I won't see it because I don't have the matching frequency. So, like I say all the time, do your work. Work on those things that, like I think about. I don't think I would want to stand up in this particular venue, especially because it's being recorded and it'll be out on the internet, and we know that once it's on the internet, it never goes away. So there are things that I would not say standing up here in this environment, but there's a lot that I would, because it's like, it's okay. It's just a part of who I am. It's not a big deal. And maybe if I can be as open and honest as I can be, then one of you can say, wow, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can unwrap my gift. Because I promise you that there are tremendous blessings for you, and there's also tremendous blessings for the people around you if you do that. And I don't know where I am time-wise, if I still have time, or if you need me to, I have time, or. Okay, the other thing I wanted to lead or to cover before I can move into questions is starting at some point, either later today or tomorrow, we move into the 58. And the 58 is vitality, song of joyful appreciation, exuberance through deep involvement with life. The joyful spirit. She came to the earth with an assigned mission to end suffering and to spread joy of inner knowing. Wrapped in high energy of her celestial transmission, she radiates effervescent curiosity, brightly glowing. Approaching each dilemma with awareness and creativity, she teaches you to follow your intuition and inner authority. Understanding your star destiny and unique sensitivity, she helps you choose the red thread of your galactic priority. She refreshes you with cheerfulness of a clear lake and inspires you to stay fully awake. Wrapped in bright vibration of her incandescence, you become unstoppable in expressing your essence. And I hadn't read that before I got up here, and to me, it feels like it's absolutely perfect, because as you unwrap that gift, you're going to be expressing your essence, and we need your essence. Every single person in this room, every single person on this planet. And so I think for this part, I'm done, and I'm willing to open it up to any questions or comments or whatever you might want to do. Okay.
So, I really liked how, everything that we have a hard time with, or whenever we see something negative outside, it's not outside, it's within. And, being in the program, hey, that's a big thing, is you have to look at yourself to clean that slate. And one of my favorite things to do is a fifth step, which is you take your inventory and you share it with somebody, and then they point out your flaws, like, because you can't see it until somebody points it out. And I just did one of those not long ago, and it was just really, really good. And kids' eyes just lit up. He's like, oh, God, it's on my phone. Kind of that thing. Because once you have that awareness that, hey, it's all me, then you can change. And that light bulb turns on, and you say, hey, maybe the world isn't so bad. It's only what I'm seeing. So I think that's really, really good. And that's a beautiful way of healing. It really is. And it can change the way that you see things in a few hours. The whole world.
Right. Absolutely. And thank you for that comment. And I want to say I didn't tell you the rest of the smoking mirror. It's not just, oh, here's all my judgments and here's how that's really about me. But then you take that list and you look at, okay, where does my arrogance come from? Oh, gee, it shows up in situations where I feel insecure or frightened or I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. And so I'll pull that out of my toolbox as a way of coping. And also as part of that, you look at, gee, maybe why might this person be using that particular thing that triggers me? Oh, gee, maybe they're feeling insecure. Maybe they're feeling afraid. And so ultimately what you come away with is compassion for you and compassion for the other. And the other thing that I do, and that I'm the one to either thank or blame for the quiet meditation this morning. I find that I'm very sensitive to sound. And so I like less sound rather than more sound. And I, particularly in meditation, I like it to be quiet rather than having background music. Unless somebody's doing like a guided meditation. And I found myself as we had that quiet time, just repeating in my head over and over the prayer of I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that's not meant for anybody out here. That's meant for the me in here that I've harmed. And as that heals, it stopped showing up in my life. And because that no longer needs to show up in my life, I can tell you that amazing stuff shows up instead. I mean, I come here this morning and I'm here to hear you and I'm here to hear you. And I'm like, really? Like, what? Like, oh, because we love you. And it's like, really? Like, there's still the part of me that's not healed that's like, really? But we keep repeating that prayer for her, and eventually she won't say really. She'll go, yeah, I get it. So anyway, back to either questions or comments or whatever. Gosh.
Well, I don't know you, and I thank you, and I love you now. Say thanks.
Thank you. Lydia, I should know you because every time, yeah, okay.
I just wanted to thank you because what you shared with us today is a lot of what's happening in my life and what I'm going through. I mean, just like I could have took it right out of my head. And even my friends and the people I hang with, we're all going through the same thing. And it's just beautiful that you were able to bring it out and share with everyone, because not everyone is going through this. They might be little bits and parts, but it was just beautiful. And I just want to thank you so much for getting real and being, authentic and sharing yourself and your beauty just shooting. It's just beautiful, beautiful energy.
Thanks.
I want to thank you.
Ernie.
Well, I like the idea of presenting the whole Ponopono to the inner child within you. And it looks like a rag doll that got run over by a truck. And you have to embrace it gently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the healing takes place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going through everything you talked about too. I love it. Happy you said it because I know I'm in one with things.
Right. And that's the other thing is like if you start to notice with an attitude of, oh, isn't that interesting, rather than what the hell does this mean? Or, like an attitude of curiosity rather than an attitude of judgment. I also find that like the two of you saying, yeah, that's where I am in my life, that you're going to start to notice that the people around you are in similar kind of things that, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going through something like that.
We're the same frequency.
Right. I was watching this thing online the other day, and this person had some kind of weird shaped thing and a like a something that would clang if it hit because it was metal. And then he was holding, and at the bottom of it, it said something like 420 megahertz or whatever. I don't remember the exact number. And the thing he's holding said something other than that. I don't know, 640 or 720 or whatever. And he's banging it, nothing. He finally pulls out the one that is the exact same frequency as the other, and he's holding it over here. And here's the other thing with the little, he hits that, and you see that little clanging thing move because, again, they're in sync at the same frequency. And as we all do our work, guess what? The frequency gets higher and higher and higher. So that's what I'm looking for.
Do you have the title of the card set
I do.
for either of those?
Yeah, we can do that after.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lovely two women, one who did there's beautiful artwork. And then there's the stuff on the back. So yeah, I have all that info with me.
The same way, and thank you. It was lovely and great for Christmas Eve, and you are truly festive. And what you and Mark were both speaking of in terms of noticing in others, but it's you. Since several of us will probably be with family over the next few years, and we might have baggage from family. I also want to, you sort of touched on it, but didn't hammer it in. Forgiveness also has nothing to do with that other person. It's only between you and your divinity. So no, if they raped you or did terrible things to you, you don't have to forgive them. But if you can let it go, somebody said unforgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. I would always, went back when I had baggage like that, spend time before I went to that event where there were those people and do some work on myself, and forgive everybody I'm going to meet, everybody I haven't met yet, everybody from the past, whatever, so that I could walk in and have a nice time and not, oh, those horrible people, that kind of thing. So you might want to remember that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't call it that, but where I talked about the "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you" is the whole Ho'oponopono prayer. And one of the people that helped to bring it to mass consciousness would spend time, like if he knew he was coming here and speaking today, he would spend, I don't know, a week or whatever, month even, like saying that prayer toward healing the space, healing the people in the space, so that by the time he got here, like all that forgiveness was done in him. And so then that would be reflected by what he saw coming at him. But yeah, that's a good reminder of, and again, it's like keep doing your own work, and forgive. Yeah, you're right. I had the opportunity to see a picture of someone who was one of those people in my life, and I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, why was I so consumed with the interaction that we had? Now I look at you today and go, no, like it's I'm sure there's still work that I need to do, but it's way more done than it's ever been done so far. Alexander?
When you mentioned unwrapping gifts, the gifts like in yourself, it was time in my life when those gifts were unwrapping and acceptance with it. I felt petrified sharing those to the public, mortified, just because of like what other people would think. Am I good enough to do this and all that? And you just really have to keep going. Just keep taking one step after the other and take those deep dives, and eventually, somehow, some way, it really does all work out. And thank you for showing up for yourself today.
Thank you. Joe?
I like how Saki or different pieces were moved there. When not planned, like we had train and your message. At the end of the day, it's being at peace with yourself. And when you do that work, when we do that work, it's essentially that inner peace, and how everything woven as a profile.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. To the church one.
Working on it.
Okay, to usher in our time for healing, truth, and messages from Spirit, please rise for our next song found on page 66.